Welcome back to Local News Live. Well, we are still in the midst of the holiday season. Christmas may have passed, but we are also celebrating Kwanzaa. Joining me right now, here by Zoom, thank you, is Dr. Kelechi Egwim. He is the spokesperson of the DC Kwanzaa Planning Committee. Hi, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me.
Well, thank you for having us.
Now, I want to start off because I feel like there's a lot of misinformation out there, and a lot of people don't really know what Kwanzaa is. We are now in day 2 of this week-long celebration, so I'd like to start there on exactly what the celebration of Kwanzaa is.
Like Kwanzaa is a holiday based on African traditions of celebrating harvest, first fruits, usually towards the end of the year. They'll happen all over the continent. In 1966, Dr. Malana Karenga and a few others got together and decided to create a holiday specifically for people of African descent. And this is not just for people in the United States. It's really being celebrated globally now, but it did start here in 1966. And you think of Black History Month. This is very similar in terms of the purpose. In other words, it's not religious. It's not like you have to choose between Kwanzaa and Christmas. You can have you can be Jewish, you can be Christian, Muslim, whatever your religion or spiritual practices are. This is not a religious holiday. This is a cultural holiday, much like Black History Month is a cultural holiday celebrating the culture of people of African descent. So that's what Kwanzaa is about. The idea is to really instill certain principles in people of African descent, because we know that in many parts of the world, including here in the United States, we are oftentimes at the bottom ladder of so many things. And we have to change the culture and instill certain principles that are native, because these principles are native to African people, but it's being brought to us in a way that's it's digestible. There are 7 principles, as there are 7 days. Each day represents a principle. The first day, which is yesterday, December 26th, is umoja, unity, which is to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Today is Kujichagulia, and all the terms in Kwanzaa, including the principles, which are the Nguzo Saba, and the symbols are using Kiswahili, which is a language that's spoken mainly in Central and Eastern Africa, but it's one of the largest spoken languages on the continent, which is why it was chosen many, many years ago as the official language for Kwanzaa. The next principle, which again we're trying to really instill in our people locally, nationally, globally, is Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility to build and maintain our communities together and to make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and solve them together, right? Next one is Ujima, which is cooperative economics, to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, really, supporting the creation and support and growth of Black businesses in order to make communities that exist and sustainable, because we know that the local small businesses are really what sustain communities. And then NIA, which is to make our collective vocation the building and development of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. The next principle, which is the second to the last day, the 6th day, which is Kuumba, which is creativity, to do always what we can in all the ways we can to leave our communities more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. And the last day, the last principle, which is January 1st, which also is, of course, New Year's, Imani, faith, which is to believe in our hearts and our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. So we want to instill these 7 principles in Nguzo Saba in people of African descent, locally, nationally, and globally. And Kwanzaa is a vehicle to do just that.
Let me ask you this. You just talked about, thank you for going through the different principles. The last principle on the 7th day, Imani, being faith. Can you talk about the purpose and really like the symbolism of Kwanzaa ending on the new year?
Right. Of course, it's a harvest festival, so you're talking about the beginning of the harvest being the bringing forth of the fruits of labor, literally fruits of labor in some cases. And of course, you're talking about planting seeds for the following year. So the idea is that we come together and really take into account how the year has been, reflect on it, assess, recommit in some ways, and then much like folks do with New Year's resolutions, with Imani being the last day of Kwanzaa and the first day of the year, we can now, after having gone through this process of reevaluating and really learning about and connecting with these principles, we can start the new year afresh with all these principles in mind, and then start the year with faith that we will be able to elevate ourselves, improve our situation, and of course, be more beneficial as a community because of it.
Dr. Egwim, I definitely appreciate your time.